Well, the world has gone mad once again with Star Wars fever as the new teaser trailer for Star Wars 8 came out about a week or so ago. As for me and a few other old men, I just wish Hollywood would leave our childhood alone. But if, like many people, you cannot wait to journey back to a galaxy far, far away, here are 10 games to tide you over till the movie comes out. Also, I tried to pick games that are forgotten, either or new to me, or just plain really good. Lastly, it does not have to be a Star Wars license game to appear on this list. It just has to stir similar feelings to the Star Wars franchise. With that said, and in no particular order, here are the 10 games that can hold you over till Star Wars 8 comes out. Dark Forces. Okay, let's not beat around the bush. This is a Doom clone, but it's a good one. And whether you're playing it in DOS or the PS1, you're going to have a fairly good time. Yes, it is an old first-person shooter. Yes, it does have really low frame rate, especially on the PlayStation 1 version. Yes, the textures are very dated and the levels don't feel as creative as I thought they were when I was a kid. And yes, the story is now completely bogus thanks to Rogue One. But what it does have is Kyle Katarn.
A new stormtrooper that can take out a rebel base that quickly? I should have kept working for the Empire.
It also gives you the ability to look up and down, which is a big deal at the time, but, not as big a deal today. And while levels may be dated for their time, they were ahead of the rest of the Doom clones because they had multiple floors to explore connected with elevators and even stairs. Kyle, who works for the Rebels trying to discover the secrets surrounding the Dark Trooper project that the Empire is developing to crush the rebellion, would go on to have a few sequels and several other games that I have not played. But I remember fondly playing this game on my old PC back in the day. It's on Steam if you want to give it a go, and that version is much better than the PS version that I'm showing you here. Either way, it's a good story, good game, and a nice little trip back in time to the days when FPSs were a little bit more blocky. Super Mario Galaxy. Oh no, he didn't. Yes, I did. One of the best Mario games ever, with its fun mechanics, stellar musical score, and gorgeous visuals. This is the best Wii exclusive game ever. Set in, for all we know, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, you play as Mario, who is given strange, reality-defying powers and is sent on a journey across the galaxy to rescue a princess from an evil empire ruled by a fiend with incredible power. Platform your way through settings that ought to call to mind a little bit of Star Wars, if you squint real hard. Now, before everybody stones me to death for putting this game on the list, let me say, first, I did warn you that these kind of games could be on the list. Second, it's the music that does it for me. It's combined with the setting, and it just screams a Star Wars feel. Let's face it, a lot of what makes Star Wars is the setting combined with the musical score. And the same is true here. I admit that including it may be a stretch, but if you want fun, challenging games set in space with great music, you won't find many more better than this. Knights of the Old Republic. Now I'm going to level with you right here and now. I have not finished this game. And the main reason I have not finished it is because I love Japanese RPGs. But I'm not a huge fan of Western RPGs. Look, to each his own, right? But when I play this game, I like the setting, I like the story, I like the idea of it. But I just have never sat down long enough to finish it because it's just not my kind of thing. But I am not going to say it's bad because that's certainly not the case. I can see why so many people love it and praise it. If you are a fan of this type of game, and you probably are, as most seem to be nowadays, this is a great game to play if you want to visit an even longer time ago in the familiar far, far away. This is a revolutionary title and will always be fondly remembered by Star Wars fans for giving them their own Star Wars adventures to mold as they saw fit. Starfox 64. Oh yeah, do a barrel roll. fly in space, defeat Andross, and defend the Lilat system. Flying the R-Wing always makes me feel like a rebel pilot, and Fox's charm as a hotshot pilot is hard to deny. Look, if you have played this game, you have no doubt noticed the similarities. But I would still not call it a rip-off. It pulls off this wonderful homage to Star Wars, while at the same time being very much its own thing. I love this game. I would not say I'm a pro at it, but I pop it into the N64 almost as much as games like Ocarina of Time and Super Mario 64. It's easily in the top 10 best games on that system and has aged fairly well to boot. The 3DS got a remake, so you can always try that one if you like, but for me, I stick with the original. Really, I would play it over many of the other games on this list, and that's a true compliment, seeing as a lot of these games are pretty great. Super Star Wars. I might get into trouble for saying what I'm about to say, but this game is not very good. Oh, I like it, and I played it a lot as a kid, and pop it in quite often and play it now, but it's just not very good. It seems like it's supposed to be a run and gun game when you first fire it up, but then when you pull the trigger to shoot the gun, you cannot move. He just stands there, blasting away and getting pummeled by enemies who drop out of the background infinitely. Then it seems like, after a little bit, that it's supposed to be a platformer. But your jumps are incredibly janky because their height and distance is determined by the D-pad and not by the duration that you hold the button, like good platformers. So if it's bad, how can it be on a top 10 list? It makes this list solely for its aesthetic. All of these games on this list feel kind of Star Wars-ish, even the ones that are specifically Star Wars titles. But this game to me perfectly nails the aesthetic. Sure, the story is bogus and not based on the films hardly at all, and the gameplay is bad, but the design, you can almost feel that gritty, lived-in aesthetic that makes up the Star Wars universe. This game feels more like Star Wars than the prequels do, and that's what keeps coming me back now and as a kid. No matter how frustrating it is to play for me, I keep coming back to it because it is Star Wars. I guess you could say it's kind of like Obi-Wan Kenobi in Episode 4. He's old, not as limber or adept as he used to be, but the Force is still strong with this one. Star Ocean, specifically 2 and 3. Admittedly, these are a bit more Star Trek than Star Wars, and I've kind of talked about them before. However, these games are a mixture of vastness of space and a world of magic, which kind of is Star Wars-ish if you squint and look through someone else's glasses. Seriously though, while I have not played 4 and 5 because I heard they were not good, 1, 2, and 3 are good and are totally worth the time to play through. Not to mention 3 has 2 discs on the PS2. That's a big game. As far as JRPGs go, I have always enjoyed Tri-Ace's work. The feel of exploring a large galaxy, the wizard-like characters you meet, sure by the end in 3's plot falls completely apart, but that can be fun in its own sort of way. I cannot think of what to say more than what I've already said before, so let's just say that you should try one of these games. After all, you got the time before the movie comes out. Shadows of the Empire. This is one of those games that leaves a phenomenal first impression. The Hoth mission is something else. Even today it stands up so well despite being very short. Even the first on-foot mission is full of spectacle, ending with a foot battle with an AT-ST. It's great. I hear people complain about the third level, but actually it's one of my favorites. When people say they always want to be in the battles of Star Wars and they talk about being in the Hoth mission and it feels great, I always think about firing the turrets of the TIE fighters as they're trying to escape the Death Star in the first film. And this puts me into that spot. I'm in the turret and I'm firing TIE fighters. It feels great. But really after that mission, the whole thing sort of starts to fall apart. You play as Dash Rendar, a smuggler and a pirate so cool he could give Han Solo and Kyle Katarn a wedgie in school. I mean, watch Han react to him in the first cutscene. I mean, you could say lazy writing, but really, it's just Han wetting himself. Dash is smuggling for the rebellion and is continually getting caught in situations that he didn't sign up for. Filling in for Han during his nap between sequels, Dash's only problem is that he makes Han look bad so he had to go away by the end of the game. To add insult to injury, man, am I going to be crucified for this, but the Outrider is a better looking ship than the Millennium Falcon. There, I said it. Deal with it. Next up on the list is Shockwave for the 3DO. What, you've never heard of it? Yep, protect Earth from an alien invasion by flying over 32-bit Earth landmarks. Why is this game on the list? Well, it's a flight simulator for the 3DO. It has cheesy, grainy FMV video of terrible actors trying to make the game feel as epic and special as Star Wars. What's not to enjoy about that, right? Okay, I'm gonna level with you. This game may be a bit more Battlestar Galactica than Star Wars. That show was basically just a Star Wars ripoff. I mean, just look at the name. Star Wars, Battle, Star.
Structures.
So it's just a ripoff of Star Wars with an extra degree of separation. And if all you have is a 3DO, God bless you, then this is about as close to Star Wars as you're going to get. Okay, I'll level with you for a second time. This is the only one of 2 games that I own for the 3DO right now, and it was close enough that I could squeeze it into a top 10 list, so just indulge me. Do you, the rookie, have what it takes to save the Earth from the extraterrestrial threats? Find out. Lego Star Wars. I have not yet played another game in the Lego series that has made me as happy as these 2 games. The humor, the levels, everything is perfectly Star Wars in Lego. Except it's also not. If you want to play the movies, you cannot get much closer than this. If you want to just laugh out loud, then again, this game is likely for you. Lego is about building worlds and experiencing things that we could never truly have in real life. It's not building the Eiffel Tower and racing cars or space shuttles. The game perfectly blends the spirit with the desire of any fan to tinker with their favorite characters and places and objects. Hours and hours of fun through collectibles and unlockables. These games are the gift that keep on giving, and they can keep you busy for quite some time, or at least until the next Star Wars film ends. Last but not least, we have Rogue Squadron for the GameCube. This is the granddaddy of Star Wars flight simulators. Well, except for the prequel on the N64, and TIE Fighter for DOS, and X-Wing before that. But anyway, other than that, Rogue 2 is the complete package. It has incredible visuals that hold up well even today. Even if the final mission is an exercise in frustration, I can't ever get the Millennium Falcon to survive long enough to complete it. The rest of the game feels like you're in the cockpit of your favorite ships. I always love flying the fast but fragile A-Wings. I don't know why. And the Tabana gas mine mission is probably the mission I remember the most. Control is fluid, the story is straight from the films, a little extra here and there. As a bonus, if you own Rogue 3, you can play the entirety of this game in 2-player split screen. How cool is that? Pretty cool, I think. It's just too bad you have to own Rogue 3 to play it. All I know, though, is that when I feel like playing a Star Wars game, this game usually pops up in my mind before any of the rest. Thanks for watching another Top 10 list with Preacher Gamer. Let me know what your list is in the comments, like and subscribe for more content, and check out my other videos using the annotations below. God bless, have a great day.